Welcome, everybody. My name is Dale Teckel. I am from Facebook on Michigan Deer Hunters. You're listening to Dale's Deer Talk. Tonight, I have a special guest with us, Chris Queen. Chris Queen is the host of Trekin Outdoors on the Sportsman Channel and MyOutdoorTV. So, welcome, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Dale.
Yeah, so I thought tonight we've been kind of online friends for a little while. I know I got to know you through some of you had a banquet or hunting banquet, I think, a couple years, and that's kind of how I got to know you. I was kind of helping you
Yeah,
do a little advertising or whatever for that. And so, yeah, it's been kind of became friends over the last couple years now, but never really got a chance to sit down like we're going to do tonight and just kind of talk a little bit about you, family, and just how you got started and everything with your TV show.
yeah,
So,
absolutely.
why don't you tell me a little bit about yourself? Maybe for somebody that hasn't tuned into your show yet, let us know what your show's about. Give a little background as far as like how you got started in coming up with the idea for Trekking Outdoors.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm originally born and raised here in Michigan in a little town called Harbor Beach, which is on Lake Huron, so the
Hmm.
eastern part of Michigan, up in the thumb there. And then, yeah, I just kind of got introduced to hunting when I was younger, around 11, 12 years old. Played a lot of sports all the way through high school, and I wanted to hunt a little bit more, but played a lot of fall sports, and that kind of hindered me on that side of things. And then fast forward later in life, I went to the military, got out of the military, started doing some other things. Meanwhile, my best friend Tyler, who also actually runs a platform here in Michigan called Michigan Sky Media,
Okay.
he was a teacher and got involved with filming, doing a lot of videography, photography, and yeah. So we're both of us are around each other all the time, around a campfire. He has started his media production company, and then my love and passion for being in the outdoors and his as well and hunting. We brought those two together and really started filming some things for our own selves, posting on our own little social media pages, and then a lot of people took a liking to it, and then
Hmm.
some people had asked us to film a full episode, and so we had already gone down to Kentucky and hunted with Bluegrass Whitetail Outfitters, which is ran by Adam and Mitch, two great guys we have a great relationship with.
Hmm.
We ended up going down there, filmed our first ever episode that was over 25 minutes long, and yeah, things really kind of kicked off from there. We drove home. On the way home, we came up with the name. We're always talking about trekking through the woods. Hear other people
Right.
saying, "Yeah, I was trekking over there, trekking over here," and yeah, nobody had the name, so we picked the name out, and then yeah, things really moved fast. If you want me to touch base on that, I will.
Yeah,
I'll
go ahead,
tell
give
you
a little
how.
bit because I think a lot of people maybe online, especially social media, always think about having whether it's a TV show or whether it's just something social media wise. Yeah, if you want to elaborate a little bit more on that, I appreciate it.
Yeah, I feel like I can relate to a lot of the viewers. A lot of the hunting shows out there. I mean, you, myself, a lot of other hunters have watched a ton of hunting shows. I
Hmm.
mean, you have retired baseball players, NASCAR drivers, NFL players, really some big name people, maybe some people, a lot of people with some big, deep pockets. We're
Hmm.
just your everyday, regular guys. All have families, full-time jobs. So when we started this, we didn't know that it was going to lead into this, really. I
Yeah.
mean, after a few different films, we're like, hey, maybe we'll start, a show, but only for ourselves. We ended up posting that video called The Bluegrass Ghost on Facebook. Fast forward about 6 months later, the network picked that up. We went through what's called their pilot series. And then, yeah, we picked up our first deal with the network and really jumped in with both feet really fast. Didn't know what to expect. I mean, trying to travel around the country,
Yeah.
um, and putting together 10 to 12 episodes is very difficult. I mean, it's difficult to just film one or two,
Right.
especially when you still have to be working a full time job, which all of us were
Yeah.
working a full time job up until just last year. And so, yeah, that spiraled real fast. I end up actually, the honest truth was, I sold my home. At the time, I had a wife and three kids with a newborn, and I ended up buying a 37-foot Alpha Wolf camper,
Hmm.
little travel trailer, and yeah, I sold it. My beautiful home. We moved into that camper for a while so I could save up enough money for that first season
Yeah.
because I knew that we're going to need to take 3 to 4 months to travel all around the country. I mean, we were new to not
Yeah.
only producing a show, but being able to hunt all these different states and experience all these new things. And so we kind of brought that to the viewers, like, hey, we're new to this too, so tag along with us, and you can see how we grow, because we don't come from much,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
after a
I think,
while.
yeah, I mean, I interrupt you there, but I mean, I think everybody I've talked to, whether they're a big name celebrity, whoever, they all started out just like me or you. I mean,
Yeah,
you busted your butt. I mean, you did a lot of hard work, and I mean, you're
yeah,
not starting out as a millionaire or nothing, and you're putting a lot of
yeah,
hard work in, hours in, and but everybody's kind of seems like they have the same roots. Where I mean, it sounds like you're in the same situation with that, or how you guys started out.
yeah, and that's exactly how I explained it. That's how we started. And now we're heading into our fifth season. So we air on the Sportsman Channel here in USA, and then we're also on MyOutdoorTV, so the largest hunting streaming platform that's out there. You can
Awesome.
stream actually the last 4 seasons, and yeah, we're already planning ahead for this next season coming up.
Now, how did you? I know you do a lot of like public and private lands, and just you do a lot of like real life situation or scenarios, I should say.
Yep.
I think sometimes that's really missed in some of these outdoor shows where, I mean, you grew up in Michigan. I grew up, I mean, here also. And I mean, a lot of what hunting isn't just sitting in the deer blind shooting a deer. There's like so much more to it. It's the camaraderie, the fun times you have at the breakfast table getting ready for the hunt, or after the hunt, you're sitting at the tailgate or you're at the buck pull or whatever. That's sometimes I think missed in some of these hunting shows where you get your deer or whatever animal you're after, then the show's kind of over. So I think it's pretty cool when you can kind of add a little bit of the real life into that in those hunting
Yeah.
shows. And
Yeah, I mean, all of our episodes, I mean, we're over the years, we're learning. I'm still learning as I go. I'm
mhm,
a much better hunter now than I was when I first started this. The show has helped me become a better hunter. I've become a little bit more patient, doing more practice, whether that's rifle hunting or bow hunting.
mhm,
Um, the first, having a camera on you, there's a lot of pressure, that first year, especially, you're, when you're up in a tree, and you're just hunting, it's just you focusing on that animal. Well, then when you add that other element
right.
that's with you, you're thinking about that, you're thinking about this. It's kind of hard to, get
Yeah,
through that.
I actually was always I was going to ask you about that because as just a guy that, like I said, that's got to definitely be different having somebody tagging along and knowing that you're on you're on film.
Yeah. And I will say that there's actually been multiple episodes actually where we've been out filming, and we've had a shot on an animal, and maybe the camera wasn't rolling or something was going
Yeah.
on, and we still, whether it was me or somebody else, we still took that animal. That's what we're
Hmm.
there for. At the end of
Yeah.
the day, yes, we have a show, we want to produce a show, but it's about us being in the woods and hunting, practicing
Right.
conservation, whatever that may be. Um, and
Yeah, because
so,
I think sometimes that's kind of lost. Where I mean, not every time I mean, in real life, I mean, not every time you go out in the woods, you're gonna kill a deer, you're gonna bring something home that you want. There's just so much more to that, and
yeah,
there's that whole realistic, and that's why I mean, I was talking to previous about that. I just recently watched your episode a while back from when you had that ghost buck in
yeah,
Kentucky, and I mean, you guys did everything right. I mean, took a good shot, got a follow up shot,
yeah.
took some time, and it just goes to show that scenarios can pop up that are, I mean, you didn't
Yeah,
expect what was going to
unexpected.
happen. I mean, that deer literally what?
Yeah,
I mean, like crawled out of there, you think, or
yeah.
yeah,
Looking at it now, back on there, we did, make a mistake in which what that was, taking our eyes. The camera was rolling actually
yeah,
for 45 minutes. So if you go back and watch that episode, after that animal, I mean, you've seen it. He hit the ground hard
yeah,
like a sack of potatoes. Camera's still rolling. That's some thick grass out there in Kentucky. You could see, two does walking through it, and
hmm,
you never see him get up, move
yeah,
anywhere. We're in the blind, celebrating all that stuff. We get out there, we walk out there, and there's nothing.
yeah,
That's why we called it the bluegrass ghost. It was like it turned into a ghost and just left.
yeah,
And just to kind of fast forward through that, we ended up getting a tracking dog,
yeah.
found blood, got to the property line where there was a tree stand and a camera, and yeah, there was actually blood right there. So
Yeah.
Possibly that other hunter on opening day. We did hear a gunshot
Okay.
after us about an hour after, so maybe that's what happened, but
Could be.
we'll never know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
Certain
but that's
property
one
owners
thing I did
though.
like about your show. I mean, you do show that realistic part of hunting because unfortunately there are circumstances where you do everything right. I mean, you practice, you take a good
Yeah.
shot, and there's circumstances that just arise that I mean, it happens.
Yeah.
I mean, missing happens and
Hmm.
unfortunately once in a while you're going to lose a deer. Um Now
Yeah,
your experience, yeah.
I believe there's a lot of misconception with some shows.
Yeah.
You'll watch some and they go out there, it's their first day, second day, shoot the biggest buck of their life. Move on to the next
Mhm.
day, first day, second day, shoot the biggest buck of their
Yeah.
life. Yes, there's some guys that are phenomenal hunters, way better than myself. Better bow hunters out there, you name it.
Yeah.
But how much does that actually relate to the guy that's actually going out there, spending all that time in the woods in the off season, hunting
Hmm.
his tail off all year long,
Yeah.
coming up on an opportunity, maybe miss that opportunity or never even had that opportunity. We've showcased a lot of episodes where we didn't harvest an animal.
Hmm.
For instance, last year I went down. We drew our Kansas rifle tag. Went down there, scouted in August, cold knocked, got permission on almost 1,000 acres of ground, set cams, all that stuff. End up going down there for rifle season and opening day. Farmers are out there spraying anhydrous pneumonia on the fields. The deer just scattered out of there. We hunted
Yeah.
our tails off for 5 days, and I think we've seen a handful of deer. Um, and I think a lot of people can relate to stuff like that. It doesn't always have to
Yeah.
be a harvest on camera.
Yeah, and I think like as you just said, I mean, people forget how much effort and time went into that episode that you're seeing on TV. There's a lot of hours and days and heartbreaks that you guys go through just to come up with that episode. So
Yeah,
I enjoy that realistic part of the hunting. Um, I think it's pretty cool that you guys show that because that is part of hunting, like it or not.
yeah.
I mean, that stuff's going to happen, and um, yeah. So it's
Yeah, I
just
mean, who we
yeah,
are on film is who we are in person. I mean,
yeah,
none of us are any different from what we are on film.
yeah.
Through the years, we've met other people in the industry, and everyone's show is a little different. We get
Hmm.
that, but no, who we are on film is who we are right now.
Now, being you grew up in Michigan, what would you say is for somebody that maybe hasn't ever hunted out of state? What would you say is from hunting different places across the state or across the country, excuse me? Um, what really stands out that's mainly different? Whether it's
Yeah,
regulations, whether it's just areas, what's really would you say is that if somebody's never hunted out of Michigan, if they did get the opportunity,
yeah.
what would you probably suggest, or what would you say that's to keep an eye or to pay attention to?
Yeah, I would suggest anybody that's never hunted out of state to get one whitetail hunt in out of state, and then right after that, go out west.
Mhm.
Experience hunting out west, whether that's Wyoming, Montana, wherever that may be, Colorado. We've done a Colorado public land elk tag and hunt. That's now been obviously canceled. They don't have that
Yeah.
over the counter tag anymore. Which maybe that's a podcast later on. We're always talking. Maybe is there a coincidence that they introduced
Yeah.
those wolves back into Colorado? Many years ago, was that 4 years ago or so? And then all of a sudden now the public land elk tag's gone. But back to that, being out west, just seeing the terrain out there and going after different animals you've never seen before, obviously never hunted. I've fallen in love with out west. I've been able to. I shot my first um, velvet whitetail out in Wyoming,
Mhm.
my first pronghorn out in Wyoming, and my mule deer, which is right above my head back here.
Mhm.
I was able to take a good childhood friend of mine, Joey Woodkey, who's from Michigan here too, two-time combat vet, Purple Heart recipient, a gold medalist, who's now actually a co-host with me side by side with Uncle Steve and
Oh, cool.
myself. He's now a part of the show as well.
Very cool.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, so I mean, and I know I've watched some of your episodes, and what are you doing also when it comes to costs? How do you cost cut things, trips like that? So I was talking to one of my cousins, and I know they've done some trips up in Canada, and I know he was asking me that one day, like, what would you suggest? Maybe it's a two-part question. First of all, how do you guys keep track of like application dates and things like
yeah,
that? I mean, because there's every state's got a different or country's got a different time. So
hmm
how do you keep track of that? And what are you guys doing to really cut costs to be able to afford all this stuff?
Yeah, actually, when it comes to applying out of state, knowing when to apply, all that, when I first started this show, I was new to it, just like
Yeah.
anybody that may be listening, watching, whatever that may be. I took a booklet and one of those little three-ring binders
Hmm.
with laminate paper, and I wrote down every state. And
Okay.
then I wrote down the species of animal, when the draw dates were, application dates, suggested points, that may be to draw that tag.
Right.
And I've had that with me ever since. This year we applied actually as a group out in Montana to hunt pronghorn. We won't know if we draw that tag until August. Have banked up points. So for Iowa, they say 4 more points to draw your bow tag. I
Hmm.
end up drawing my Iowa tag this year.
Cool.
Every state's different, different
Yep.
regulations, different tag costs, uh, different draw application periods, all that stuff. I mean, I like writing things down because I feel like when I'm writing it down, I remember it a lot better.
Yeah, I think so. Um, I guess maybe on that topic, you're from like the southern Michigan area. Michigan's
Kind of, yeah,
been
right in the thumb here. Yeah, I
or
mean,
the summer, yeah. But I
I
mean,
live just outside of Grand Ledge now.
yeah, but I mean, you're in a lot of the same areas I am, where there's been talk all the time overpopulation of deer. I mean, this and DNR has been dealing with a lot of cities and townships. And what do you suggest? I mean, because everybody seems like they have a different suggestion, and I don't know if there really is an answer to where it is. Because when I look at situations like that with Michigan, with the vast difference of Michigan, you have the
Yeah,
UP to the northern lower peninsula to the southern part of Michigan, and every area seems like it's got their different ways you're going to hunt it or where you're going to hunt it.
yeah,
So when you start running into these issues with a lot of deer in these city areas, and you start to deal with, so I mean, it's really hard for. I know I was in that one group through Michigan and trying to come up with some ideas, and it's really hard to really come up with ideas for that. Um,
yeah. I mean, I would suggest, going to what Wisconsin used to do back in the day, where you had to harvest a doe before you were
yeah,
able to take that buck. I feel like Michigan is a great whitetail hunting state.
yeah,
If we implement some things like that, and this is me, everyone's got a different opinion, and that's
yeah, totally.
okay. I mean, and I'll touch base on that a little bit. On social media, we have people that say, "Oh man, you missed that deer. You're an idiot." Steve Ranella just did a sit down interview talking about bow hunters calling other bow hunters out like, "Oh my gosh, you missed it. I'm so perfect."
Yeah,
And he's like, if you're a bow hunter, he had just touched base on that. Like at some point in time, you will mess up. Something's going
totally.
to happen. You're not
Yeah,
going to recover deer. You have those guys just behind there typing wherever they may be. But yeah, I
yeah,
feel like if we implemented, harvest that doe, fill that freezer, earn that buck tag. I
hmm,
would be all for it. And if that meant, your kid, I'm all for it. I like that they did not take away the youth hunt because my son,
yeah.
he's 10 years old, and they keep that in place, the veteran hunt in place. But yeah, if they just drop down to 4 or 5 years, just try it out. You know, take that doe, harvest that doe to earn that buck tag.
Yeah.
I think that would change things.
Yeah, I think a lot of the I don't know if it's like we want to call it like a problem, but there's just a lot of different age groups of hunters right now. And I mean, I myself, I mean, I grew up in an old late 70s, early 80s deer camp area. And I mean, that was one of those times where, I mean, you just didn't shoot does. And if you did, I mean, you were got a lucky draw or whatever. And there's still a lot of mentality where, I mean, don't shoot the does. And um, so I think that what you were saying with, like I said, some of the tag structure, I think would probably help a lot of that.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and
now
eliminate
what the,
the overpopulated, our doe population here is insane. If
yeah,
I drive down my road right now, every night I look out in the field, there's 70, 80 deer
yeah,
out there, and majority of it's does. A lot of
yeah,
people pass them up. You still gotta, maintain your property, take some does every year, fill the freezers, and if,
right.
if your freezer's full, fill somebody else's freezer.
Yeah. Yeah, luckily they've been trying to. I know through the state now. I know the DNR tagged up or teamed up with some other uh, places to actually donate your deer, which is good. Because I agree, there's a lot of good that can come of that. I mean, if you
Yeah,
can't use the deer, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that would really benefit from that, and the homeless and stuff. So I think it's great that hunters do help out by doing that. Now you're just talking now. Are your kids hunting right now, or have you gotten them out? Any of them?
yeah. Yeah, so my son Eli, he's 10. He's actually been on an episode, actually a couple episodes with us.
Okay.
He actually took his first deer down in Texas on season 2. So had never shot a rifle, anything like that. Before we left on that trip, this was kind of like a Christmas gift for him actually, because we
Yeah.
went after Christmas. I just sat at home here. We have a Ruger 450, and I was like, this would be a good one for him to start on.
Yeah.
And I just had him, practice just sight picture and dry firing, never shot the rifle, and just constant repetitive, muscle memory with pulling the trigger, all that stuff. And then we end up flying down to Texas and filmed a full episode. And this is a moment that'll obviously live with me and anybody else that experienced, being able to go out to the woods with their kids. I mean, it's the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
You know, Before he shot a 5 point buck when he was down in Texas. Before that deer had walked out, there was a much larger deer. This deer had come out, and my son was like, I like that deer right there. And nobody was stopping him, and especially me or anybody
Yeah.
else. There was him in that moment between him and his first harvest, 70 yards, double lunged him, and then end up finding him on the track. It's a great episode.
Yeah. I mean,
Whether
hunting,
it's my kid or somebody else's, I probably
right.
would tear. I teared up on mine. I would have teared up on somebody else's.
Yeah. It still comes down to that hunter making the decision on their own and being, it's about having fun. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah,
We need to make hunting fun. So you as a parent, then so for somebody that maybe this is gonna be their first year out with their kid hunting this
yeah.
fall, what do you suggest as a parent? What tip would you give them?
Yeah, give them the full experience. Take them out there. Go drive the sections and look for deer. Get that excitement built up.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go hang a set, trim shooting lanes, whatever that may be, set a scrape. I remember just a couple years ago setting scrapes with my son and putting the cams out, and just the excitement, like, hey, did we get any pictures on the camera? Like all that stuff
Yeah.
is the best stuff. It just leads into that hunt. Like get them excited. Don't just it's great to take them out in the woods, like wake them up one day,
Right.
take them out there. But if you include them in the whole entire experience, I think that leads to, much better things for them
Yeah.
when it
Yeah.
comes
Because
to
I mean,
hunting.
for anybody that maybe hasn't deer hunted before, once you kind of get that passion inside of you, deer hunting's really it's all year long. I mean,
Yeah.
the season may be ended, but you're doing something. You're always prepping for the new season, and that's part of the fun. I mean, that becomes what I call like fun work. I mean, going out in the field or
Hmm.
planting the food plot or, like I said, getting your deer blind ready and stuff like that. That's a part of deer hunting too. And
Yeah.
yeah, once you kind of get that bug and the hunting bug inside of you, it's with you every single day of the week. Um, so we'll back up a little bit real quick. We don't want to forget that. So talk about your
Yeah.
Uncle Steve. Talk about
Oh yeah.
Tyler, and just
Yeah.
give a shout out to
Yeah.
those guys.
So Tyler's my best friend. I mentioned that in the beginning here. Best man at my wedding, whatever
Okay.
you name it. And I got introduced. It's his uncle, so it's actually his wife's uncle.
Okay.
His name's Steve Lovis. He's from the North Branch, Lapeer area.
Yeah.
And I was at a Memorial Day bonfire and party that they were having, and I got introduced to Steve as, "Hey, this is Uncle Steve." And this was years back, and I'm like, "Wow, I've never been introduced to somebody." And they say, "Hey, this is Uncle Steve."
Yeah.
I understand it's his uncle, but everybody called him that.
Yeah.
Then I started realizing that he's got another nickname. He's called Crazy Uncle Steve. And the reason everyone calls him crazy is he's got his own hunting style. The guy is the best bow hunter that I personally know. It's him. Best hunter in general is him. I've
Yeah.
learned a lot from him over the years. He's hunted all over the country, taken some world class animals. And a majority of it has just been him cold knocking. Actually, all of it has been him cold knocking. I don't think he's ever hunted with an outfitter, not once.
Okay.
Nothing against outfitters, but he's done it all on his own. For instance, when we went down to Kentucky in the first season, we hunted with bluegrass whitetail, and he went off on his own, went to a cafe, got to meet this lady that was running the cafe. Next thing he knows, they're inviting him to stay at the house. He's got access, and he's taking some great animals off of it. But
Yeah.
and then not to forget Joey, who's been a childhood friend of mine, grew up in the same town, just 7-8 minutes away. He is now co-hosting with me now too. So
Cool. So what are your plans then with Trekin Outdoors? What do you got upcoming plans going
yeah,
on?
yeah. So we have a full season laid out. We're going. I'm hunting Iowa. We're waiting to see if we draw that Montana tag. South Dakota for whitetails, Illinois a whitetail bow hunt, Kentucky for a whitetail hunt, Ohio, and then Michigan here. We have a full season lined up. We're bouncing all over the country again. And then we are banking up enough points now where we have a really big hunt to go to Wyoming next year after elk. I've been waiting for about 5, 6 years for that.
So, two more questions. So, what would you
Yeah,
say is been your favorite hunt so far?
yeah. Well, aside from my hunt with my son down in Texas,
Yeah.
I would say my mule deer hunt out in Wyoming. I was able to experience that. We went out there with Joey, and just to, Joey will be okay with me telling anybody. Yeah, Joey ended up stepping on a pressure plate IED in Afghanistan on his second deployment. Lost both of his legs above the
Mm.
knee. We had kind of reconnected a little bit, and we did a turkey hunt here. And I invited him to come out to Wyoming, and he was a little nervous at first. He
Yeah.
tells a lot of people this, and I told him, let's just go. We'll put all of our eggs in a basket. My priority is to take you out there, get you on a deer, and I'll tell you what, there's no quitting that guy. We went out there.
That's cool.
He walked all the way to the top of the mountain, did everything that we did, and harvested his first deer. And I say what I'm about to say was the most memorable thing for me was the next morning. It was my turn to go hunting. I expected Joey to sip on black coffee and just hang out at the lodge. He was up before anybody else, ready to go. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "You don't think I'm going to go back out with you after you help me?" And he
Yeah.
went back out there with us, and he got to witness me take my
That's
first
awesome.
mule deer. And it was just a great experience. It was incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, One question for you. Give me your best tip on tracking a deer, or maybe what's a mistake that people do?
Yeah, getting ahead of yourself, that'd be the mistake. I mean, I found myself, you're in the moment and getting ahead of yourself, just take your time. Just go slow and just go after the trail as best you can. That's the thing that I could say to everybody is just go slow. Don't
Mhm.
don't overstep yourself. So
Awesome.
when it comes to tracking a deer, I mean, it's all coming down to the blood trail and making sure that after the shot, your eyes are locked on that deer as far as you can see, and just
Mhm.
keep looking. If you
Yeah.
lose sight of that wherever he ran, don't stop. Just keep looking because who knows? He could have popped back out and ran back, another way.
Yeah.
I've been in that mistake years ago, and I never want it to happen again. So yeah, that'd be my tip for everyone.
Awesome. Thanks. So give me as we end here, give me a shout out once again to where guys everybody can find you on TV. Do you have any specific times that you guys are on always or
Yeah, yeah. So around Sportsman Channel, our main we air 4 times a week, but our main slot is at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, right in the middle of the week, Eastern
Mhm.
time. And then you can go to My Outdoor TV, which is like on Amazon Prime. Any phone can download it on their app store.
Okay.
And all 4 seasons are on there right now. And then Facebook, that's our main following. You can find us on Facebook at Trekin Outdoors or Instagram, or even TikTok, even though we really don't do a ton on there because TikTok hates people like us. So
Yeah. Well, awesome. I wanted to thank you for joining us tonight and just got a little insight of what your show's about. I appreciate that. And um
yeah,
keep up the good work and always look forward to
yeah,
your
you as
shows coming
well.
out. And it's been a pleasure talking to you tonight. And happy hunting. Do you think are you gonna get some hunting in Michigan this year or you're gonna be pretty much
Yeah,
crushed?
yep, yep. We'll get some hunting in Michigan this year. Last year I wasn't able to, just with how the season was laid out, but this year we will.
Awesome.
And then I'll say back to you, thanks for creating an awesome page, bringing all these Michigan hunters together. I follow you while I'm traveling around the country. I'm looking at
Yeah.
updates. I'm seeing stuff you're posting of other hunters. I'm
Yeah.
still that guy. I still look and I like seeing other people have success. I really do.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
and that's why I think what I've really done on my own page there at Michigan Deer Hunters is it's really more just a community of people, of good hunters, good-hearted people, and because in my mind, everybody technically is a TV host
yeah,
because everybody has a tip, everybody's got a suggestion. That's why there's a lot of times I like to throw some questions out there, and because you're as a hunter, you're always looking for some new information. And maybe
yeah,
you didn't see it, that somebody saw something that maybe you learned. So you're never too old to learn something new. And it's really been fun to connect a lot of hunters like that. And it's kind of grown really now throughout really throughout the United States and through Canada. I've been getting a lot of people following, which is pretty exciting, and got some other people we'll be talking to. And for myself, I've had a lot of fun talking to people like you, and got a couple
Yeah,
more podcasts coming up. And if you guys want to check
some
us
big
out, I'm
ones,
on
bigger than
Dale's
me.
Deer Talk, and like you, I grew up as just a guy that loved deer hunting. My dad was a big deer hunter and small game hunter and everything, and just passionate of my family. I'm still blessed to hunt with my family members, and um,
Yeah,
ready for deer season again. And seems like we're only a few months away now, so it should be a good time. Well, thank you,
yeah.
Chris. I appreciate you joining me.
I will say one more thing.
Sure.
If someone's out there listening, watching, whatever that may be, and you're wanting to start your own thing, feel free to reach out to us. I'll take the time to
Awesome.
answer any questions. I'd like to be that guy, just to help
Yeah.
the next guy out. So,
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah,
Appreciate it. Thank you, Chris. Happy
yeah,
hunting, and we'll definitely be keeping an eye out for Trekin Outdoors and some new episodes.
yeah.
Have a
Thanks,
great
Dale.
evening.